We want to see what the circumstances are, see what options are available for moving those people who are trapped on the mountain. We obviously have not just U.S. personnel who could potentially be engaged in that type of effort. We have Kurdish forces who are engaged in the area with ISIL. We have international partners who also want to support the provision of humanitarian assistance. So we'll look at what the best way and the safest way is to get those people off that mountain, and the President will be making decisions after he hears back from the military about what they found on the ground there in Iraq. What he's ruled out is reintroducing U.S. forces into combat on the ground in Iraq. But there are a variety of ways in which we can support the safe removal of those people from the mountain. And frankly, we already have people on the ground working with Kurdish forces in a joint operations center in Erbil. So there are ways in which we can coordinate with Iraqi forces on the ground, for instance, in seeking to combat the threat from ISIL and to bring people to a safe space. But again, as we make decisions about what the best course of action is to bring those people to safety, we will be very transparent about that. I think the principle holds that we're not putting ground forces into a combat role in Iraq. We're using U.S. military personnel to assess what the best way is to bring people to safety and what the best way is to provide them with humanitarian assistance. But again, always, force protection is a mission for U.S. personnel wherever they are in the world. That's certainly true of the reinforcements that are protecting our facilities in Erbil and Baghdad. To date, we've also, again, provided over 100,000 meals, some 27,000 gallons of water. We'll continue those airdrops. The British have done a number of airdrops. They're going to continue to do that. We've had offers of assistance from France, Canada, Australia. So we're getting aid to the people who are on the mountain while also trying to determine the best means to bring them to a safe place. I think the message to all of Iraq's leaders is there is a peaceful process in place to get a new government for Iraq. There's a new president. There's a new Speaker of Parliament, and the Shia alliance of different political blocs has put forward Dr. Abadi as a candidate for Prime Minister, and now the President has asked him to form a government. So in our view, he is clearly the Prime Minister designate in Iraq. This process now needs to go forward for him to put together a government and submit it to Parliament. But that is the process in place that all Iraqis have to respect, and frankly, any efforts to derail that process, any efforts to use violence instead of working peacefully through the political process would be rejected not just by the United States, but by Iraqis themselves, by the international community. So we want to see, again, a peaceful context for this process to conclude. There's an enormous opportunity with a new Prime Minister designate in place to get a unity government that all of Iraq's different factions can buy into, can support, and then turn the focus to where it needs to be, which is combating the threat from ISIL.